Now let's get started with the goddamn show.
All right.
Today we're going to be talking about mayhem, madness, murder, and tigers. And more tigers and more murder and more mischief. This is Tiger King, a show that probably would not have gone anywhere if it didn't show up on Netflix during a pandemic when people had literally nothing else to watch.
Yeah.
And
that's the only reason I watched it.
Yeah, me too. Now it's a worldwide phenomenon.
I actually watched it only after the memes started coming out. I started seeing all the memes about it, and I'm like, all right, I got to check this out. Because it was like just crazy memes about like tigers and methamphetamines. And I was like, all right, well, okay, what is this show?
I think I was in a group chat, and somebody in the chat was like sent something about it, or they were like, hey, did you watch that Tiger King thing yet? And we were like, no, what is it? And he like briefly describes it, and then I see the trailer and I'm like, oh good god.
It was yeah, when I like started to like look at like videos and stuff, I'm like, oh my god, I have to. I think probably the most famous, like, where he has to go tell the crowd of people that someone lost their arm, and then he's like, I'm never gonna financially recover from this. I think that was probably like the first clip of Tiger King that I saw.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you only care about the financials.
Of course.
Of course. Not to mention that the person whose arm got like mauled off by a tiger was like his employee.
Yeah, and it's funny because she didn't even like really care that much. She's like, oh, whatever, I lost my arm.
Yeah,
and she was still like,
his employees are like the only people that have any real redeeming value to them, because they're just they're just kind of like a band of misfits. I don't want to call them a ragtag group of rogues essentially, but they'd be more of a band of misfits, and he helped them out. He like gave them employment when other people would not, which I don't know. I think with all these like crazy big cat people, I think it starts from a good place and then like it just takes on a life of its own, and then the ego gets like super like jacked up.
Well, that's definitely
like,
what happened.
Yeah, it's
Joe
just
Exotic's.
Well, I mean, him and probably with the Doc Antle guy too. Like that guy's a maniac as well.
Well, that guy is like clearly just full of himself.
Oh yeah.
I think Joe Exotic started with like his heart in the right place, and just kind of like fell to the dark side over time. Especially after the whole like Carol Baskin lawsuit, kind of like just like drove him deeper and deeper into a hole that he just couldn't get out of.
Yeah.
But even if you look how he started, he wanted this. He started doing shows to be anti-drug because of what happened to his brother. So if you look where he started and where he ended up, it blows my mind to see that big of a change.
Yeah.
When you start to where you end.
Yeah. Well, he was doing magic too. Like he wanted to do this as part of like a magic act.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he like also kind of had like this thing that he wanted to do with like country music, which he ended up not really playing or singing on any of the. He never actually did any of the music that he like
claimed to
do.
Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
He apparently also didn't tell the people that had recorded the actual vocals that he was going to do that. Like make a music video where he was singing their vocals, basically.
Oh God.
And it's weird because he does actually sing. Like, there's that scene where when his husband died, and he sang at the funeral, and you could tell it's him singing. It wasn't just like a recording. So it's like he could actually sing, but I guess he didn't sing good enough to like be the lead singer or something. I don't know. I guess he had a standard in his head that he couldn't quite reach, so he figured I'll just do this. Yeah.
They said here too, he did do a little bit of singing on some of the songs, so that's why they chose not to call him out on it at all on the show for fact checking. There was just enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was probably like background noises more than anything.
Yeah, it was probably just the harmonies, vocal harmonies and stuff that he sang.
Yeah. So he can technically say that he did do the country music.
Right. Yeah, on a technicality, basically.
Yeah.
And then presented it as he was the only singer,
Yeah. And then he had this. He had the other guy who was like, who was just like, kind of like the stunt guy or whatever. He was just like a weird Gonzo reporter kind of guy, and he
Rick Kirkham.
Rick Kirkham, and he just filmed a bunch of stuff for him anyway of the Joe Exotic TV stuff, which ended up just like he just wanted to do reality TV basically, and he was trying to pitch the show, and then all the crazy Carol Baskin stuff happens.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for that guy because he had like so much footage, and he was gonna like really sell it, and then when I guess they had that like fire at the zoo, he lost like all the like thousands of hours of footage that he was going to do for this reality TV show, and I'm pretty sure he had a nervous breakdown after that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he said he did.
So I mean, I feel like everybody that really was attached to this really did not come out great.
No, I mean the guy who probably came out the worst for wear, other than like the Joe Exotic guy who's now in a federal prison.
Yeah.
Don Lewis also did not come out of this well. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Is the poor kid who was like doing his campaign.
Oh yeah.
That guy, like, oh man.
Yeah, that guy really kind of like fell down a deep dark hole.
I mean, could you blame the guy? He he saw a guy like commit suicide by mistake.
Yeah, right before his eyes. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I they say it was a mistake, but like really wasn't there's speculation it wasn't really a mistake.
Yeah.
That, he was just that it was Joe Exotic's husband. What was his name?
Travis.
Travis. The guy was clearly not happy.
Well, both of his first two husbands. So Joe Exotic was married to like two guys that ended up actually being straight, and he basically just kind of they don't really get into detail, but he kind of lured them in with like drugs or some kind, or like
Meth and Tigers.
Yeah, Meth and Tigers. That sounds like an album.
Yeah,
Meth and Tigers.
That'll be Joe Exotic's comeback album when he gets out of prison.
Yeah, good song. Good song.
Same Clown Posse is one of the guest artists.
What was I saying? Oh, so yeah, clearly he wasn't happy. Again, this is a straight man that's in a relationship with a gay man just because he's addicted to drugs, and the gay guy keeps feeding him drugs. And so I mean, there's a lot of speculation that he did just kill. He actually intended to kill himself, and just kind of made it look like an accident. Obviously
he was sleeping with like all the women at the park too.
Yeah.
Which,
that was the thing. I think he fathered a child, or his other husband fathered a child with one of the women that worked at the park.
Yeah, the John Finley guy who like throughout the whole documentary he's totally shirtless, and he has these like terrible like meth teeth.
Yeah. Apparently he
did
has
get
gotten
new
his teeth fixed.
Yes,
yeah.
I was gonna say he got some new chompers, and I read an interview that he was very disappointed that they did not feature that.
Yeah, because he had gotten his teeth during the filming of the documentary. So, but yeah, they didn't actually put that in. So he kind of came out looking bad.
Yeah, kind of lame.
Points to people where they made them look bad, like him always being in the rocking chair, poorly lit, with his teeth missing.
Yeah.
Or what about that other hitman guy randomly in a bathtub?
That was weird.
Yeah, that was a strange.
All these I think they were trying to sometimes paint them in as bad of a light as they could.
I think so. I think in some aspects they definitely were.
I mean, to be
fair, why would they do an interview like that? But also on top of that, like, why would you let somebody produce you that way? Like,
yes,
like you got to take like you got to look at it from the other side too. Like, one, like, yes, they're like these guys are jerks for like intentionally filming things a certain way. And then editing them a certain way, like with the purpose of making these people look unredeeming. But on the other side, if you're the guy like if you're the guy or gal who's like doing the interview, and it's like someone's like, "Oh, why don't you talk about that time that person tried to make you do a hit on somebody?" And like, why don't you say it in the bathtub? Like, if you're like, if you don't like think about it, and you're just like, yeah, okay, then I mean, you kind of deserve what happens next.
Well, yeah, I mean, they knew what they were getting into. Thing. I mean, apparently, some of the people that were featured in the documentary series have come out. Like Carol Baskin specifically has said that the documentary film crew kind of misrepresented themselves.
Yeah.
About what the documentary was going to be. Which, to be fair, I think they went in not intending it to be what it became.
That's what I heard too. I think
they just wanted to kind of film this whole like people that own private zoos, and like it kind of like explode because the people that did own it are like the cartoon characters, like literally. Like, I mean, every single one of them is a crazy person. There's not one like normal person. I mean, I guess you really have to be kind of crazy to want to own tigers and like make that your living.
You know, but, I mean, the weirdest thing was like the one guy who seemed like the most normal was the guy who was like the former drug lord.
Yeah, the guy who was like a Colombian drug lord is the guy who was kind of like the most likable character and seemed to be like the most normal out of everybody. I mean, that just goes to show you, like, you know, that's kind of like the theme of this show is like, that's the most normal guy. Well, then Jesus, like the other people must be like really like out of it. Like, even like Carol Baskin, who is, you know, supposed to be like the good guy, I guess, in this case, is a psychopath. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I honestly believe that she did kill her husband.
Yeah, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah, I mean, especially since the documentary has kind of like reinvigorated the like case, and now they're like investigating it again because of like the popularity of the documentary. Like there's definitely more to that story than what's being told by Carol.
Well, I honestly think he wanted to disappear, and he just took his millions off to some island somewhere and disappeared. Had all this paperwork show up like it did. The easiest way for all this to happen is he wanted it out, and he's like, I will give you half if you let me leave and help me get out. And that's my theory, until they find a body.
I mean, but if she fed the body to the tigers, then they'll never find it, you know? That's the thing.
To me, that was such a wild idea. Like, is a tiger really going to eat a whole human body that quickly with all the evidence gone, hair, DNA, everything?
No, I mean, you'd have to really you'd have to put in some work to dispose of the body.
Yeah, you'd have to dismember it. It wouldn't. I don't think a tiger would eat the whole thing.
No,
wholly.
you can't give it to Even if you like gators, maybe.
Yeah,
but probably like if there was like a nest of gators, probably. But like a tiger, no. Even several tigers, it would still take a few days, and there would still be scraps left because they're not going to pick everything clean.
Oh, and the bones too. They don't,
the bones would totally be there. So she would have had to dismember him, and or like dissolve parts of him.
Yeah.
I don't even know, and then like grind him up. I don't know. There's a lot of
incriminating evidence against her because she had sold like 3 parcels of land for like just under the amount that needs to be reported to the IRS to one of her like employees, like the handyman that worked at the zoo. And apparently then those pieces of land that she sold to him were worth $100,000 each, but she sold them for like I said, like $9,000 and something. It was just under the amount that you would need to like report to the IRS, basically. Yeah, so that's like a red flag that something was going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel bad for her because she's a victim of rape, and she just had like a really terrible. She had a terrible upbringing, and like this guy made it seem like he was going to save her, and he just turned into exactly what she was running from.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not so like, there's a lot of mental health issues at play here as well.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I do feel bad for her that like, she's getting dragged into all of this, but at the same time, like, there's a lot of there's a lot of evidence that says that she did kill her husband.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody that was, except for Jeff Lowe. Jeff Lowe's just a straight up douchebag and has no redeeming qualities.
No, that guy's an asshole.
I think for the most part, even Joe Exotic, even though he's done abhorrent things and obviously deserves to be in jail, he was kind of a little bit of a sympathetic character, because you could tell that he really kind of started out with good intentions and then, like I said before, just kind of went down this path into darkness. And you could really see over the course of the whole documentary how he kind of went from this happy-go-lucky guy to just this person that's awful,
Yeah.
But I would say Doc Antle's kind of scummy too. I don't think he has really that many redeeming qualities.
Oh, Doc Antle is terrifying.
Yeah, he's a friggin' Charlie Manson level cultist basically.
He's a Bond villain come to life without the world domination.
Yeah, but when he rides in on that elephant, that is totally a world domination entrance.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But it's creepy the way he has he gets these young girls to work at his zoo and then marries them all. And it's it's creepy. And then they had the one girl that was kind of escaped from the life talking. And it's when you hear what her story was, it's wow, he really is running a cult pretty much.
Oh yeah, he did a number on her.
Yeah.
It's, and on top of that, he's putting down the tigers after they get too big.
Oh yeah.
She was saying that just tigers would just disappear, or animals would disappear, and they had the suspicion that that he was killing the tigers, and the guy has such a huge property, and all these women are living in squalor, beautiful women too, but he I guess they're all from broken homes and they're runaways and they're looking for refuge, so he just lures them in, with oh hey, I have tigers, or I have animals, or come be free with all the animals, and he christened himself as Bhagva, right?
Yes.
Which is Lord.
Yes. Yeah,
that's the thing. All these big animal collectors, they're predators, just like the animals they're collecting.
Yeah.
To prey upon them, and it's even Joe Exotic says it at one point that him and Doc Antle are kind of two sides of the same coin, where one is, for lack of a better term, one is more affluent and one is a little more trailer park. He kind of described it that way, but they're both predators who have their prey that they go after, and one is young girls and the other is young boys. But
and I guess there's this allure of tigers that these people can lure people impressionable youth in with. I guess I don't know. I don't think I would ever, do some of the things that they did just to for tigers. But I guess I'm also not addicted to meth, so that kind of helps,
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
With all the stimulus coming in now, we can actually get some tigers. We can get some meth, and we can put a video up.
That's true.
And show the nice people out there, a Mythbuster style experiment, if this will actually happen.
Methbusters. Here we go.
Yeah, Methbusters. On this episode of Methbusters.
It's just people. What if that was a real show? If it just was Methbusters. It was just like people they get really high on meth and they try to debunk mysteries. And the whole how long would an episode go before they get off a tangent? I feel like you could have some big Vegas stakes on how long they go before they just abandon it altogether.
Yeah.
I feel like some people would win a house and some people would lose a house on that. Today on Methbusters, holy shit!
It would probably have to take place in Florida also, because let's face it, that's a Florida man show.
Yeah.
Well, the murders, he did try to murder her in Florida, so when it went off the rails, it had to move into Florida.
Of course.
Of course it did.
Yeah, because it's Florida. I mean, Joe Exotic really is the ultimate Florida man. He just happened to not live in Florida, but like this, he is like the Florida man. He's the Florida man messiah, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to run for office just because he tried I didn't even know that he like tried to run for president until I watched this documentary. Like I hadn't heard of it. All I knew at the beginning of that election was just there were too many people.
Well,
that was about it.
Yeah.
And then the wrong people.
Imagine Joe Exotic actually won the 2016 election. We had 4 years of Joe Exotic.
He got 1 in 5 votes for the governorship of Oklahoma, so
he
that's
did.
That's pretty good for an independent.
Yeah.
By handing out condoms.
With his face on it, right?
Yeah.
God.
For your protection.
I mean, okay. I guess if it gets you 1 in 5 votes, it's not a bad campaign.
Yeah, well,
it's not a good one either, but it's not bad.
Do you think he fed his campaign team that Walmart meat? Like at his campaign rallies, he just passed all that out to his people?
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
They admitted that the friggin' Walmart meat was being used at the friggin' concession stand. So,
that's gross.
Yeah, that is really gross. I would not be surprised if people got sick.
I'm sure they did.
It was probably like one of those unwritten things that when you're gonna go to Joe Exotic Zoo, just don't eat the meat because it's bad. You know, when you know that there's a restaurant in town where it's like, yeah, if you go to that restaurant, don't eat this because you're gonna get sick immediately. Oh yeah, don't eat the sushi at this Chinese restaurant because you'll friggin' be barfing all night. That's probably what was don't eat the meat at Joe Exotic's place because it's bad.
Yeah.
Crazy too is the number of celebrities and wealthy people who went there. Like Shaq went to this place. Do you think Shaq had some of this Walmart meat, or with Doc Antle? There's a picture of the Undertaker in his hot tub with one of the tigers. It's like, how many of these rich and famous people have been in this circle of Meth and Tigers and have not even known it?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure a lot. It's crazy.
Probably huge.
I mean, I could see because rich people always want to be. I think tigers are kind of a symbol of like a status symbol. You think of Siegfried and Roy. This high class kind of they have tigers and it's a high class Vegas magic show. So I think celebrities are attracted to that, and that's why they'll go to these places.
Also in much older times, you'll see you see paintings of Arabian kings with tigers, or there's always a portrait somewhere of somebody wrangling a bull or something. There's somebody or a prince with a lion or something like that. There's always a painting like that, and big cats, it just they're just a symbol of power, it seems. So that's why. Yeah. So that's kind of where that comes in. So it is, like you said, as a power thing and a status symbol. So these uber wealthy celebrities are oh, I need to flaunt my wealth. So what's the easiest way for me to do it? I'll get a tiger. Or in The Hangover, it's a running gag that Mike Tyson keeps tigers at his house.
I think he literally actually does have tigers in real life, though.
I think I saw something that says he did at one point. I don't know if he still does.
No, well, the funny thing is, he did, but he gave them up, and he says it was irresponsible. I had the quote somewhere that he regrets it, or said it was irresponsible. Let's see if I can.
I mean, there's a lot of people that these Joe Exotic and stuff, and Doc Antle, they would sell tigers to rich and powerful people. They regularly bred tigers.
Oh yeah,
to sell.
Yeah, and it it breaks your heart because it shows they show him just wrangling the tiger from its mother.
Oh yeah,
just brutal shit. And he shot it he killed 2 tigers, but he wasn't smart enough to get rid of the bones. So they I think they found 2.
Yes, and that was part of his convictions. Everyone thinks, he was just convicted because for the murder for hire thing against Carol Baskin, but no, actually most of his convictions were from animal abuse and violation of the Endangered Species Act.
Mm-hmm.
Which he admitted to in court. His lawyers
Yes.
were fighting that he should not go to the stand, and he went up there and told the whole jury, it's just another one of these times where he'd been getting away with so much for so long that he thought he was invincible. I think that was the same with a lot of these people, that they got away with so much for so long.
Oh, yeah. Well, Doc Antle got raided shortly after this. Like he got raided, I think, in the summertime.
Yes.
Yeah. And that definitely had to be from what Joe was turning over out of that storage locker.
Oh yeah.
The hard drives and papers. We're going to see plenty more.
Yeah. Well, that plus the documentary itself probably had people to start looking at him.
Oh, of course. But even during the documentary, he was already starting to be investigated, because that's when he was starting to talk about hiring a hitman to hit Carol Baskin and stuff. So it's there was just he was playing with fire. He really was. He wasn't being very smart about what he was doing.
Well,
he was doing openly illegal things and not trying to hide it, basically. I'm waiting for Jeff Lowe to go down. That guy's friggin' dirty as hell.
Yeah, that guy's a degenerate.
Yeah, they're gonna go after him. I mean, Carol Baskin already took the park from him. She was awarded the park in the lawsuit because Joe had apparently put the park in his mother's name illegally to kind of hide it from her lawyers so that he didn't have to give it up. And then I guess after he went to jail and the park got passed to Jeff Lowe, the judge, they finally got a ruling on it, and the park just went to her. And so,
well, he
Jeff
bankrupt. Well, Joe Exotic bankrupted both of his parents, just trying to run the zoo.
Yeah. Well, specifically too, also from the lawsuit that Carol Baskin had put against him.
Yeah.
Was for an exorbitant. It was millions of dollars. I don't remember what the exact number was, but it was several $1 million.
Yeah, it was for stupid money.
Yeah. So he basically had nothing. He just was just getting rid of anything and liquidating anything he could just to pay off the settlement. And I'm sure Carol Baskin still is owed plenty of money.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not she'll get it doesn't matter. And I mean, she's pretty rich anyway. But so she her husband's a lawyer. So
yeah, I don't think she really even cares anyway, because her whole point was just to take Joe down, which has been accomplished.
Yeah, so it's not about the money for her; it's just the principle.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but because she has the park now, she was taking a tour. They trashed it, rotting meat carcasses everywhere. But there's her taking a picture here. Somebody put in graffiti a middle finger, and it says Carol Baskin takes up the butt from Donald Trump.
What?
They even just the word Carol Baskin takes up the butt from Donald Trump. It's spray painted on the side of what looks like a small, cabin or something.
Oh, good God! Now I gotta look this up. Yeah, but the Jeff Lowe guy, that guy needs to be taken down. I mean, he was a career conman anyway.
Yeah,
and he conned the zoo out of Joe. And then he was gonna re-demo it with some other guy that they don't really get into. I forgot his name. That other guy who they've
the
showed
most batshit crazy of all of them too.
Probably.
He was, He was
the guy who they wanted that Joe wanted to hire to kill Carol Baskin, the guy in the bathtub?
No, not the bathtub guy. There was another big cat / big animal person that had his own little zoo thing going on, or his own big properties, but he he wasn't really that involved in the show. They've just they showed him here and there, and he was going into business with Jeff Lowe to do the big thing, and he found out that Jeff Lowe was conning him.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that now, that guy.
I don't know who he is, but I would like to see more of him when they do the second season, because that guy was definitely off his rocker. Didn't he shoot something on camera, or he brandished a gun?
Joe Exotic brandished a gun and shot several things on camera.
Oh yeah,
yeah, there was a lot of that shooting Carol Baskin,
blowing up his watch because Carol wanted it. Which is just a little crazy.
Tim Stark was his name. Tim Stark is that.
There we go. He was an interesting human.
There was a lot. I mean, every single one of them is interesting. Like it's crazy that these people exist. This is like a real thing that happened. These aren't like people playing characters. They're real. It like blows my mind because they're literally all just like cartoon characters. They literally are just cartoon characters.
Yeah.
You can't make this shit up.
No, you can't. It's and really none of them were good. The only person that was like really good that I really felt bad for was the guy who was the zookeeper at Joe's Zoo. I think it was Eric. That guy seemed to really, really care about the animals, and he was just like there to like because he loved the animals so much, and it really I think killed him when Joe was like shooting the tigers and stuff like that. I think that really hurt him a lot.
Yeah, because he really, I mean, the guy like lost his feet, right?
No, well, there's that guy.
Legs. That guy seemed
cool
legitimately
too.
Upset too.
Yeah,
like him, I felt bad for. Though,
no, I
felt bad for like Joe Exotic's employees.
Yeah,
because like they kind of just really, like got taken for a ride, but they seemed like they were like good people at heart.
Yeah, Eric was the guy that had the sunglasses and the long hair. That was
yeah.
But yeah, the guy with no legs, he was like a really sympathetic character too, because again, he was just trying to make a living and wasn't really like wasn't a crazy person like Joe was, and wasn't like a douche like Jeff Lowe was.
Yeah, he was just a guy who had a bad hand. Oh, okay. So like anyway, we haven't quite described all of these people. So Jeff. So Jeff Lowe is like he's a career con man guy who's like a big like Vegas high roller guy. He like pretends he has money and he like just keeps frauding people to just rob Peter to pay Paul basically to keep up his lifestyle. And one of his things is him and his much younger wife who like is they're in like a swinging kind of situation which it seems like she's not as into it as he is, but she's like, whatever, this is the life I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so like his thing is he likes to bring like tiger cubs to Las Vegas and like just seduce couples into like, big orgy stuff.
Yeah.
Cause like he'll like take a tiger cub and he'll just like bring it into his hotel room. He'll lock it in a freaking suitcase and then he'll like just take it open when it's like time to play. Essentially, it's like the super gross, creepy stuff.
He also, I would like to point out, the guy's like probably like 50 years old, and he dresses like he's like a high school kid.
53.
Yeah,
he's wearing like affliction
like
and shit.
Yeah, a douchebag high school kid from like 2004. Like,
yeah, the bandana, the hat, and the jacket everywhere he goes. I think the part of the reason he hasn't been caught yet, though, is because was his wife's name, Lauren.
Yeah.
Watching him in the series, they'll question him, and he'll finally get questioned into a corner where he's about to crack, and she laughs and bats her eyelashes and goes, "You're being silly. Do you think that could actually happen?" And she's like the perfect shield to deflect, away from it. She's the reason he's so dangerous. It's them as a couple.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't think he's smart enough to get away with it on his own either. I think she's cunning enough as well, where like she can cover for him. I think you got a point there.
Also, the fact that he's such a he's been a con man for so long, he can really talk himself out of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that really kind of helps him in that regard too.
Yeah. But this guy doesn't really have any money or anything like that. He walks around as if he has a big checkbook. He like drives a Ferrari that, is probably belongs to someone else. But who the hell knows?
Yeah.
He lives a very lavish lifestyle that is completely fictitious. And like his thing is just luring people with these tiger cubs.
Well, as everyone else was. Basically.
As everyone else, but
yes,
his thing is casinos because I don't know. That's his deal. He's always gonna go to Vegas. I don't know. I guess because it's a swinging city of some kind, so if he can't get a couple, he could just like hire a prostitute and it'll be okay. I don't know. Um, like, but he's been in the news as of yesterday. He so I got the article up here. So like Jeff Lowe, he suffered a stroke at an Oklahoma casino, and he thinks that somebody like poisoned him because his wife apparently, like according to his wife, he like somebody came. Well, actually, you know what, Tom, you explained the story better than I did before, so why don't you take care?
They were taking some selfies with people because even a year later, people are coming up to you in a casino, and even though you're the scuzziest couple on the show, people want to take their picture with you. So anyway, that's happening. This other person comes up to them and says, "Hey, I know you guys. You guys like these drinks." And Lauren and Jeff claim that they don't know who this person is. So anyway, he buys them drinks. And later that night, Jeff starts acting all out of it, has a stroke. She thinks the drink's poison because she took a small sip of it and started feeling off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their suspicion, is this man that claimed to know them, but they didn't know who he was, may have poisoned the drink.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if somebody actually would, but also he's conned so many people that it could be somebody
That's
from
true.
20 years ago, or it could be somebody who knew somebody.
An organized crime, someone who's connected that he conned.
I mean, I don't dwell in the underground, so I don't know what shenanigans you can get up to down there, but I imagine this is one of those things.
You know, it could also be a publicity stunt.
That too.
Yes,
I know, because we're about 1 year removed, and now they're trying to, oh, well, Joe's having his divorce. We need to get back into the spotlight as well, churn some more money for this, because they just lost the zoo to Carol Baskin.
I was going to say that they probably need money. Right? It's probably like a trailer park version of the Royals right now. They need money, so all this here we go.
Yeah.
Let's get all the publicity we can so that we can just keep up this lie.
I would especially say because according to Yahoo News, they have not found anything in his blood or urine tests for common drugs. And as far as I know, I don't know any common drugs that would cause a stroke, unless maybe they spiked his drink with epinephrine or something that made his heart rate super crazy and it burst like a blood vessel or something like that, or increased his blood pressure exponentially.
But forensics have gotten so good with this stuff that it's very hard to find something that's not traceable.
Right.
Or even less traceable,
well, unless they use something that's not commonly used, then I could see, okay. Because they only usually test for common drugs,
Yeah.
So,
well, they didn't always do that. Like before, they would just rule everything out as a heart attack up until Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman killer.
Mm-hmm.
He was really what got forensic labs updating their stuff and just looking for very specific chemicals to trace. And he's basically where all these crime labs got all their funding from. Because everything used to just be ruled as, just a heart attack, because he would poison people's sandwiches with cyanide.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he would do. He would buddy up to you. He was apparently he was a very likable guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so he could lull you into as intimidating as he was, he could lull you into, a false sense of security. And he'd go to one of his things was he would go to lunch, he would go to meet somebody, like a construction site or whatever. He'd go to meet somebody, and he'd pick up sandwiches, so that he'd let them know, so that they would think that everything was okay. So he'd buy him a sandwich, and he'd sprinkle cyanide on that person's sandwich.
Wow.
So they would eat it, and then he would they'd have the meeting, and then he'd say, "Oh, all right, I gotta go do this thing, all right," and he leaves, and then about a half hour later, the guy's dead. So so he did that for years, and just eventually somebody picked up on it that there was that everybody who was involved with this guy suffered a heart attack. And they ended up owing money to the mob or whatever. So they were like, all right, well, everybody can't just happen to have a heart attack. So they started testing for other things. and that's where they started to like notice cyanide, and that's where all the crime labs really started getting like more technologically advanced. So now I don't like even if you're using something that they're not generally looking for, I feel like they would still look for most outside things. Like I feel like they've seen it all at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much of it they could really trace.
Lends more credence to the fact that it could be just a publicity stunt,
Yeah.
If they're just making shit up.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Also, I think they have a kid or something.
Yes, they do. Because they had a thing where they were looking for a nanny, and the nanny had to be hot or something. Yeah, I guess.
It was so gross.
It is.
That
it
nanny
really is
for banging and banging only. She doesn't even know how to change a
yes. So we also, there's Jeff Lowe. We also, we really didn't talk about Carol Baskin, and she is kind of, again, she's another one that's like, that she's portrayed in the series, I think, as more of like a good guy, quote unquote, because she's fighting for animal rights. But really, a lot of what she does is kind of like gross and like very exploitative too, under the guise of being like an animal rights activist. And I think a lot of her like mentality of trying to like push for legislation on tigers and stuff and keeping exotic animals is more just to put her competition out of business than anything.
Oh, I think so too. And also so that she would end up getting custody of these animals. I think her whole thing is she just like I think because of her past and everything, I think there's probably something in her childhood that like has attached her to cats or tigers where like she only felt safe around them. So I think that's kind of where this stems from.
Yes.
Because she had a lot of trouble for much of her life.
Yeah.
And I don't think it just has to do with her competition, but I think it's also like just growing her menagerie as far as like, from like just a psychological fracture.
Well, because then she can go in and say, "Oh, well, we have to rescue these cats from this zoo because they can't live in the wild on their own. So we'll just take them and put them in our zoo instead."
Yeah, it's but meanwhile, her zoo like is not up to code or anything like that. There's like bramble everywhere. It's and the cages are small.
Well, she claims that it's it's supposed to look more like their natural habitat.
Yeah, but it totally doesn't. That's like that's all bullshit.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think absolutely.
And also, all of her volunteers are just that. They're volunteers. They're talking about
she doesn't pay anybody.
Their lives for this, and they don't even get expired Walmart meat and a trailer.
Yeah.
She's a predator, just like the rest of them.
Absolutely.
As we're just saying, she's got what she wants, and she's going after it through a different way. I mean, she even keeps her husband on a leash. Like that's their wedding. So he's one of those.
I always thought the creepiest thing with her was when they did the interviews with her and her husband for the documentary, whenever he's talking, she's looking at him.
Yes.
Like if you notice, and it's like she's almost like coached him what to say and is like boring into his mind and mind controlling him almost. It looks like
she's like a ventriloquist.
Yeah, you could tell that she definitely controls him completely.
Oh yeah.
Keeps him on a leash literally and metaphorically.
Just remind him what happened to the last one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could up and disappear.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's just the fact that this exists is just like mind blowing because it's like you would never think that people like this. I mean, I guess there's douchebags in the world and people that that are assholes and stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of sick people, but you didn't like. This is not something I would expect.
No, it's like completely out there. And there's always a joke that like you say like, people that own horses are usually crazy, like horse people are just crazy. Well, tiger people are like it's completely and out of their minds, like insane. Like it's just it's mind-blowing that these people exist. Like, it really is, because they're just so bizarre. Even the ones that are portrayed as the most normal, like Carol Baskin, is not normal at all. She's so weird and like creepy and skeezy and like, you know, like a shifty grifter, like, and it's just so bizarre. And the cast of characters that weren't even like own it, like the guy on the jet ski, you know, like where did they find these people?
Yeah, that guy sold everybody out too.
Yes, yeah.
And he's been around. He was on Talk Is Jericho, and he was on an episode of AEW.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, you know what? There's a while ago, I wouldn't have believed or understood why Jericho would put him on the show, but after like seeing Jericho decline in 2020, I can kind of see it now.
It was right at the height of this.
Oh God,
wow.
yeah. I mean,
I
could see him. I could see like the crew being on the show, but not like any of the cast.
That guy, I tell you, that he's pretty smart. Like he kind of parlayed his appearance on Tiger King into like a whole thing, I guess. Then like
he's probably making a lot of money off of this.
Yeah, and he's just like this little friggin' side character that had one friggin' scene of him like driving away on a jet ski that somehow made it like him, like he's like the one of the biggest memes of the show. Just like that image of him on the jet ski, you know, like.
It's just funny.
Yeah. So there's talks that, you know, they've been kind of talking about a second season of Tiger King since the show aired, basically. And, you know, I keep hearing rumors that it's coming out and it's going to focus on Doc Antle and basically how he got brought down now and is being charged with similar crimes to Joe. Not the murder for hire thing, but the violation of the Exotic Species or Endangered Species Act and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see if that actually does come to fruition, and we get to see what happens to Joe and Jeff Lowe and all the other people as they all get brought down one by one, and Joe's friggin' trying to like appeal to Trump to get out of jail and stuff. So I would hope that would be in it too. You know?
I would hope so too. I was going to mention that, like, from jail, he was trying to appeal to Trump for like a pardon, and like he had to like his campaign people like waiting outside the prison, expecting that like this would happen.
He had a limo and a hairdresser lined up for him when he got out of prison. He was so sure that Trump was going to pardon him.
I don't see why you would think that, but his ego was massive from this thing. But you would think even in prison that like his ego would end up diminishing and he'd be humbled, but this clearly was not the case, because every second that he got, he like tweeted a bunch of crazy shit.
I mean, it's pretty clear that he goes beyond just having a big ego. He's clearly like a narcissist.
Yeah.
That like just he thinks that he's the best thing ever, and so like I could see why he thought he was going to get pardoned, because he thinks he's the most important person in the world.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
interesting
also,
that his husband, who he had married right before going to jail, has now divorced him.
Also, right after his husband killed himself.
Yeah, I think 2 months later or 3 months later.
Yeah, 2 months later.
Yeah, that's a
big red flag. Well, also, this guy was the only husband that actually was gay, it seemed.
Yeah.
I think, I'm pretty sure he's the only husband that actually was gay.
Yes, because Travis and the other one,
John, they were both there for the drugs.
Yes, exactly. Which, again,
I saw also today that Dylan, they're not getting divorced. As of yesterday, they were getting divorced. And as of today, they announced they're going to stick together. But I don't think that's going to last very long.
Yeah, I can't see it either.
Time now.
Yeah, I mean, the age difference is just so vast. Like,
the age difference is vast. Like, also, the fact that Joe is going to be most likely in prison for the next, 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
Double his life almost. He's going to have to live an entire lifetime, essentially.
Yes.
Married to a man in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the pandemic right now, they haven't even been able to visit each other because Joe's been he's high risk, I believe. I was seeing he's been kept
Yes.
quarantined and separate. A lot of the things he's had to write to the judge have been handwritten on paper because he can't be in communal settings. So
Wow.
I'm sure it's been very rough for him.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if he didn't crack before, he's definitely cracked now.
Well, I mean, I haven't heard any, like, I know, he obviously was calling from jail for the interviews for the documentary, but I don't know if he's done any since the documentary. I haven't heard of any. So I don't know how, he's faring. I'm sure he has.
Heard that they're going to have some interviews for the second season, that we're going to get more of the wackiness that is Joe Exotic behind bars.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
It would be amazing if they were able to get a camera in jail and see his day-to-day life in jail, because it's probably, like, just ridiculous,
A sitcom in and of itself.
Oh, good God. I mean, there's a lot that they could touch on the second season. But, I mean, this thing was just perfect timing, this show, for it to come out. Like, I honestly think that if it just came out during, like, a normal year, that maybe it would have eventually gotten some traction, but I don't think it would have been at the height that this has reached. I don't think this would be, like, getting, like, super, like, national attention.
No, I mean, the pandemic, the fact that this came out, and I think that was planned. I'm sure they saw it's like, oh, crap, like, everyone's going to be locked down and has to stay home for the next 2 weeks. Let's put it out, and that's what they did. Yeah. And they would just, they got really lucky with it, and it blew up.
Yeah, well, this actually released on my birthday last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Everything. Well, yeah.
Happy birthday! Here's some Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Meth and Tigers.
Yeah, Meth and Tigers.
You just hire Joe Exotic to come to your birthday party.
Good God, no.
He brings Meth and Tigers with him.
I don't want to ever try Meth and Tigers.
I'm allergic to cats. That would not work with me at all.
My apartment's just not big enough to handle a tiger.
Yeah, remember a few years ago, there was someone in, like,
Brooklyn or the Bronx. Yeah,
that had tigers in their apartment.
I mean, that happens every couple of years. You find out about somebody who's, like, got a tiger in their apartment. This
or like a
really
monkey,
new.
A chimpanzee, or something crazy.
Yeah, this isn't really anything new here. Like every couple of years, you find out about something. Like, I know when I was a little kid, there was a guy who, like, lived in the neighborhood that had, like, a 30-foot boa constrictor that he would just walk around with.
Oh my God!
I don't know. He was the snake guy.
That's like, crazy.
Every once in a while we'd see it, and he'd have the boa constrictor, and and so some people would let him put the snake around their neck, and that was about it.
That's playing a little bit too much with fast and loose with a fucking deadly animal for me.
Yeah, people listen, man. People are crazy. People do this stuff. I remember like maybe 10 years ago, there was like some guy in Queens who like got his apartment raided, and he had like a fully grown white tiger just on the couch, and he was like, like the guy was living in the projects or something.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
It was like, how do you fit that into your apartment in the projects of all places?
How do you feed that thing?
Who do you feed that thing?
Yeah. What does it shit everywhere? Like, does it go in a litter box? How does it work? Like,
how do you have the money to maintain that thing?
Yeah.
Well, I found an article here. There was one in Harlem. The tiger's name was Ming. It says in 2001, this 31-year-old construction worker brought an 8-week-old cub to his Harlem housing project.
Oh, good God.
Then it started consuming 20 pounds of chicken thighs a day.
Well, yeah.
And was soon a 425-pound tiger.
Oh, my God.
Well,
and the
there
picture
you go.
at the top here is NYPD officer rappelling down the side of a building with a tranq gun as the tiger lunges at the window.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at that exact picture.
Jeez.
Imagine being that cop. Like, you come into work that day not hoping you're going to have a good day, a nice quiet day, and you have to literally rappel down the side of a building with a tranquilizer gun to try to tranquilize a tiger through a window. Like it's like
that scene at the end of The Naked Gun, like in real life, when like the animals escape from the zoo and they like maul Robert Goulet.
I don't think I've ever actually seen The Naked Gun.
Oh, are you freaking kidding me? Those are the greatest.
I know.
The third one's probably like the worst one of the three, but it's still hilarious.
I mean, I think I've seen like, parts of it. I haven't seen the whole movie straight through. And
it's so funny.
It was probably when I was like 8 or something. I was like young when I saw them.
Yeah, there's something like, I mean, to this day, like every once in a while, I'll just I'll just point at something, and I'll like, if somebody's not sure of who somebody is, I'll nudge the person next to me. I'll just say, it's Enrico Palazzo. Whether or not they know who I'm talking about, I don't care. But that movie, those movies are like, they're kind of surreal because O.J. Simpson is there.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, O.J. Simpson was a famous actor before...
Oh no, I know. He was a champion. He was like a big football player and everything.
Yeah,
he was
in The Towering Inferno.
Yeah, he was on his way to becoming a national treasure, and then he did what he did what they couldn't convict him of. It's very obvious. Oh yeah, it's very obvious.
Allegedly, he definitely did it. It was just there was too many botches with the investigation, and the defense lawyers were able to latch onto that.
Oh yeah,
Johnny Cochran was pretty much a genius.
Yeah, Jackie Childs.
Yeah.
No, well, I know that. I'm sticking to what the ruling was, but obviously he did this.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, and he lost in the civil suit, so he.
Oh yeah, no. He, like, without a shadow of a doubt, this guy murdered his wife, and like he put out the book In Prison If I Did It, which was like a hypothetical confession where like he basically just like said sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
But of course, it had to be like, it had to be in hypothetical terms, where it had to like toe the line between fantasy and reality. But like it was very obvious as to what it was.
Oh yeah.
And then he went to real jail for like tax evasion or something.
No, it was for robbing a dude. He like broke into a hotel room and
that's right,
and robbed some dude. I'm pretty sure he was armed too. And I find it hilarious that he literally beat a murder rap that would have sent him to prison for life, and only to like have to go to jail anyway for some completely unrelated crime because he was an idiot.
Just so dumb.
He could have literally parlayed his life and like into like just telling us his story, and probably made money off it. But instead, he went to rob some guy of some like merchandise. Like, what a dumbass! Like, I mean, and now he's out. It's crazy. Like, freaking O.J. Simpson is once again a free man, and he has a Twitter account. Like, what reality are we living in?
That'll be Joe Exotic in 20 years. We'll be sitting here like, what's he doing now? And he'll probably go back for something even lamer.
He'll probably try to run for president again.
Well, I mean, he's like almost 60 now, so he'll be at least 75 when he gets out.
Well, right. Well, assuming that he has good behavior and all that, and gets out early. Let me see. I think he's in for 22 years.
Oh wow.
I think was his sentence. Let's see.
Yeah, he ain't getting out alive.
No. Well, he might get out alive.
You never know.
He'll be old.
Out in 10.
Yeah. That's what I said. He'll probably be out good behavior 10 to 15 years. Assuming that he doesn't get pardoned, which apparently now, as of like 2021, he's hired new attorneys who plan to file a motion for a new trial.
Oh, good God.
So, out of which I can't imagine that any judge would like allow, because I mean, he admitted in court to the crimes that he was accused of.
Yeah.
There's nothing that they could really, kind of get him on a mistrial or anything on. So, I don't know what they plan to do, and if a judge does somehow allow this and he goes back to retrial, like, what is he gonna like? What's the defense gonna be? You know?
Right.
So, I guess we'll maybe that'll be part of Tiger King Part 2 is Joe's retrial if it ever happens.
It just sounds like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
I just don't.
It's crazy.
I don't know how this could be a real
too.
thing.
It's crazy how many people like Joe Exotic too. Like he gets fan mail, tons of fan mail in prison, and there's like GoFundMe set up for his legal defense and all this. Like he gets so much like, and it's like people missed the point of the documentary entirely. It wasn't trying to they weren't trying to like make him this hero. They were showing that he was like a guy that like started out with good intentions and became a total and complete scumbag. You know, I don't understand how people took that as like, Joe, he's a good guy. Let's just, help him.
Because we live in a world where too many other idiots inhabit it.
Well, that's true, I guess.
That's what Joe did, is he took advantage of other people, and he is so good at that from so many years of practicing that he is capable of doing it through a TV screen. And now that it reached everybody in the country when we were forced inside with nothing else to do, you're gonna win some more followers over that way, and he won a lot of followers over.
Oh yeah,
and he hasn't even seen the series. He's just basking in the fame.
I wonder what he's gonna think if he ever has a chance to watch the Tiger King series. Like, that would be another thing. Joe's reaction to Tiger King when he gets out of prison, he'll probably do that on his YouTube channel or something.
There's there's this YouTube guy that I watch. His name's Larry Lawton. He was like he was once the biggest jewel thief in America, and he's since.
Oh yeah, I know that guy. I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's turned his life around very much.
Yeah,
where now he has like programs where he tries to, like help rehabilitate prison inmates. He's also like trying to do a lot of campaigning to try to fix the prison system, to make it focus more on rehabilitation rather than punishment. And he owns up to what he did. He tells his whole life story. He wrote a book about all the crazy stuff that he did. It's like he lived a pretty wild life, but
he consults police departments too on like robberies, I think, as well.
Yeah, he does. Like now he's like he did like a whole 180 on his life, and he's like dedicated it to trying to help people rather than hurt people. But
I mean, I would hope that I don't think Joe Exotic has like he's too egotistical to do something like that.
No, I don't see him doing anything like that. But this Larry Lawton guy, the reason why I bring him up is because he did a thing shortly after this for Tiger King, because he kept getting like requests for it, and he like just did a whole thing of like what's coming to Joe Exotic, and he was like this is he's like, I know I did some crazy shit, but this is crazy shit. Yeah.
I mean, I could imagine Joe Exotic trying, when he does get out of prison, trying to do something like, like a YouTube show where he tries to like be like a motivational speaker, except like, again, he's so egotistical. He'll probably always like say, oh, well, I never did anything wrong in my life. I was framed, and completely miss the point of being like a motivational speaker and trying to turn your life around,
Yeah.
He will make money doing that.
People
will pay to show up and gab about whatever.
Oh yeah, listen,
it's going to be a little disgusting how successful he's going to be after.
Honestly, if I wouldn't be surprised if he's like trying to set up like if like people are requesting that he like gets a cameo.
Yeah.
I could absolutely see people like begging this guy to do cameos for whatever reason. I have no idea.
Like the cameo, like the video service where you like do, or like cameos in movies.
No, like the video service platform.
Yeah.
He could probably charge $9.95 like the Undertaker and still sell out.
I'm sure he would. No, honestly, people will probably buy it because they're freaking.
Yeah. People
they're crazy
buy stuff
about
from
it.
Listen, people buy stuff from like people buy weird shit all the time.
Yeah.
I've bought
He is a
weird
walking
shit.
endorsement. Like
He
he could
is.
endorse chicken nuggets with those beautiful golden nuggets. How he described his ex-husband's testicles. Like this man is a walking spokesperson, but he just poisoned that with his past crimes.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he's just he can't get over himself. So it's just no matter what he does, it's gonna end up being still awful. People will buy it, but it's gonna be he's like a terrible person. It's and he's not learning from it. It's almost I want to say almost like Tony Soprano in The Sopranos, how he kind of is never ever feels remorse for his crimes and just wants to continue his lifestyle the way it was and always thinks that he's in the right and stuff. That's basically Joe. I guess it's a kind of a personality type where people that that are narcissistic and think that they're the best and they'll never change. So it's that's kind of Joe. He'll never be able to see himself as the bad guy.
Well, I don't
in
think
his
any
mind, he was a victim.
Well, it's none of these big cat people are going to see themselves
Oh,
as,
no.
as the
No,
bad
yeah,
guy.
absolutely not. I think I'm just talking about Joe because he was the first to go down. I mean, Doc Antle's probably going to be the same mentality, though. If he goes to jail for whatever, his crimes, he'll probably be like, well, I was, I'm the victim here. I'm framed. The U.S. government is just picking on me. The same old story,
Yeah, I'm sure. None of that would surprise me one bit.
No.
Carol Baskin's probably going to be the last one to go down if she goes down. She might be the only one to make it out.
I think she's going to make it out. I think that the disappearance of her husband at this point is too much of a cold case to be solved. There's no trace of him. Without a body, no body, no murder, basically. So really, she'll probably get away with it. She's going to pull an OJ.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't see anything ill I don't see anything ill coming to her except maybe fines or a headache and lawyer fees, but I don't see any actual
See, the problem is that
convictions.
she's friends with all these politicians, so she has she's got them
because she's smart. She's got the right people on her side.
Exactly. And she knows she has won the battle. She's won the war. So she doesn't have to do anything crazy anymore. She could just sit on her millions and just that's it. She doesn't have to. And now she's making all these appearances. She was on friggin' Dancing with the Stars. So, she's kind of parlaying her image now into this just making more money. And so I don't think she's ever gonna really go down. She's won. She won the war. There's nothing that can stop her. Even if Joe somehow magically gets out of prison, he's not going to be able to prove anything that she killed her husband or whatever or did anything. So it's she won. That's it. Carol Baskin won.
Yep. Oh my God, Carol Baskin has a cameo.
Oh no, how much is it?
Take a guess.
$9.95.
No, lower. Rob.
$200.
Very close. $2.99.
Wow.
For a request? For a request is $2.99.
Cats and kittens.
Yeah, for a direct message is $20.
Oh. So
I don't really know how Cameo works.
I
think a request is I think a
they
request
do a public
is
thing, statement and shout out to you or something.
I guess that would be it. Or you tell them what you're and you give them notes on what you want them to say and then they'll do it. And I think the direct message is just that. It's just hi all you cool cats and kittens. I'm Carol Baskin and blah blah blah. Thank you for this cameo. Have a great day. Where the request is whatever it is.
Sting has a cameo. It's $500.
Sting
for a request. Yeah. Like the wrestler Sting.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Can we watch some of these cameos?
I don't think so because I think
No, they're personalized.
yeah, you have to
gotta
buy
order
them to watch unless someone uploaded
Oh.
theirs to like YouTube or something.
They give you sample ones, actually. Oh, yeah, there is the Sting one. It's so weird that... oh, so is George Lopez. They make him look like he has a mohawk in this drawing. Hey, Alfonso Ribeiro, Carlton,
Yeah,
and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is $500. I don't know.
I wonder if you can like request Alfonso Ribeiro do like the Carlton dance.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you
You
can.
got
You
to
know
pay
what?
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alfonso Ribeiro is about $250. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's only request, so he probably does the damn Carlton dance.
yeah, probably. They have like the entire cast of Game of Thrones, Disney people, The Office.
There's a Tiger King category. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's a
God,
Tiger King.
no.
John Reinke, that's the guy with no
Yeah.
legs, I think.
Yeah. Tim Stark has one.
James Garrettson, that's the jet ski guy. He's only $49.
Oh, the girl is $50. I'm surprised the jet ski. I love how his picture is the jet ski guy. Is the jet ski picture. Then we have
Oh, Tim Stark, that's the other guy that we were talking about before.
Doc
And they have
Ansel's
Saf.
on there. What?
Saf is only $50.
Yeah. Why is Doc Antel's wife on here?
I got probably because I don't know. Because
Ma-
she's the queen of the jungle, according to her profile.
That's what it says? No.
Yeah.
Oh my
Queen
God.
of the
No,
jungle,
it does.
Animal Mama.
Oh, this is
Oh,
too
God.
much.
$100. I love how Doc Animal is $250. Jeff Lowe's $125. It's like
I'm surprised he's not $9.95.
Did you guys see that Alan Glover is 90?
Who?
The Alan Glover, the hitman that Joe hired, was $90.
Really?
Oh, I don't see him on here at all.
I don't see him on here either.
It's temporarily unavailable. It's $50 if you want the campaign manager.
Oh my God, no! I feel.
John Finley with his teeth. I wonder how much it would be if he takes his teeth out.
Oh, you gotta charge extra for that.
In the rocking chair.
Yeah,
I feel like Jeff Lowe had to do half of Doc Antle because like no one wanted Jeff Lowe, so he's just like trying to spite Doc Antle. He just made his price lower, like half of it, but still probably no one buys Jeff Lowe.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Do we want to listen to some of these cameo previews?
Yeah, I'll put one on.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
All right.
Let's watch.
Ooh, Virgil's only $69.
Like Wrestler Virgil?
Wrestler Virgil, $69, and he's seductively eating donut and a Claire.
Wait,
what is this?
That guy was in one of the subway stations a few years ago, just like selling 8x10s of himself.
Oh my God, that's sad. That's like the wrestler level of sad.
Yeah, this was a few years ago. He was I think he was not the Bryant Park one. I think he was in Grand Central. Yeah, he was in Grand Central Terminal, and he was like selling interviews if somebody wanted to do it that just happened to like be like have a wrestling website or something. He was just there, like he just put up a spot like a hobo, like the hobos do it, or like the street performers, and he just had a bunch of 8x10s and he was just selling them for like $10.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like the worst you could probably. That's like the lowest that you could probably get.
Yeah.
As like an ex-pro wrestler, but I mean that guy was only brought in as like supposedly he was brought in as like a rib for Dusty Rhodes.
Really?
Yeah, like it was he was basically brought in from like the story goes he was brought in specifically so that Vince could make fun of Dusty Rhodes because I don't know, according to Vince McMahon, Dusty Rhodes sounded like a black guy, but he was a white guy doing it. So that's
what?
why Vince. I don't understand the logic either. But
Vince is fucking wacko.
Yeah,
and Dusty's real name is Virgil, correct?
Yes, it is. That's why he named him Virgil. It was just stupid, and then the gimmick was just very tasteless. Like, I feel bad for the guy. Like, I'm glad that he made money, but I think he lost all of it. I think he lived a fast life like everybody else did back then, because that's just what you did.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't anybody that told them, hey, don't do this, it'll ruin your life, or hey, think about your future, or think about your retirement, or like, hey, you should talk to a financial advisor. Like if anybody did that, they didn't tell everybody else. Like it was just every man for himself. And I'm pretty sure most of them did not think about that because they probably thought that this gravy train would go forever.
Apparently, in 2019, he had like a little thing with AEW, but now has not appeared on AEW TV since November of 2019.
Who, Virgil?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Yes, the Thanksgiving thank you celebration for Le Champion.
Oh,
He was
God.
under his old ring name of Soul Train Jones.
Huh. Okay.
But yeah, he has not been on since November of 2019. So,
Wow.
That's almost 2 years now.
Jesus. I can't... He tricked Tony Khan, too. Alright. Let's get... Which one of these cameos do we want to load up from Tiger King? I can't believe they have a whole category for this. Do we want to start with Carol Baskin, or do we want to ease into the creep?
Let's start with Carol Baskin. That's a good start.
All right.
Hold on, let me go to your. Are you gonna stream it?
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted me to share my screen or if we were sharing.
We can. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. We can just watch them.
Yeah. All right. Let me do this. Let me do this. Go live. All right. Can you guys see my stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch stream.
All right.
Yes, I can see it.
All right. Let's take the porn down.
Tom, can you see it?
I'm trying to get in.
You just hover over it,
watch the
press
stream.
this thing, and watch stream, and then it'll come up.
Now, technology is amazing.
Yes.
All right. Oh God. And do we? All right. I guess they're all birthdays. It seems.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
It
got
looks
she's got a 5-star rating.
Oh God.
Everybody has a
probably-
5-star.
yeah,
Ron
she probably
Jeremy had a
paid.
5-star rating.
She's probably paid to have a 5-star rating. Look, she paid
I
people
mean,
off. Give me 5 stars on Cameo,
Honestly, she might. Yeah.
or I'll put you under the septic tank next to my husband.
All right, Tom, are we good? Can you see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh God, here we go.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
Oh, God.
It's Carol Baskin from Big Cat Rescue. Elizabeth, I want to join your sister in wishing you a happy, happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday. And Elizabeth and Catherine, thank you so much for being such big fans of Big Cat Rescue. And that handsome,
What is up with her eyeballs?
heart-pounding
Yeah, that was an O-face.
Manny Jaguar. Oh, my Katniss. Isn't he amazing? He's such an
My
amazing
Katniss?
cat.
My
He
Katniss.
looks-
I don't
Have you guys
know.
ever been here in person? He looks like those spots were just painted on him. He looks like he was made out of porcelain. His fur is just so sleek, and those spots are just so beautiful. Catherine asked me to tell you a little known fact about Manny, and I'm not sure that there are any because he is so talked about. Everybody loves him, so everybody knows his story. They
Oh my
know where
God,
he's
she
from.
just
They know
keeps
he loves
going
to
on
make
and
his
on.
quizzes in his room.
Yeah, some of these people
They
go
know
on a
that he is
tangent.
Really,
Well, I guess you get your money's worth out.
I guess-
Paying
Yeah,
$120.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you do.
Number of people
Yeah.
who are allowed to do operant conditioning with him or to feed him because he's so dangerous.
Why would you even do that then?
He's just like so.
And she, like,
the
plays it
spark
off like
can
it's
come
not a
through
big
the wire,
deal.
So you got to
Yeah.
really watch out for that. And
Well, she would know
as a
because she
result,
put
it's
friggin',
only our
most
highly trained
put
keepers
sardine
that are
oil on her
allowed to
husband's
work around
clothes
him.
so that the tigers ate him.
But one thing that I don't know if a lot of people know is that most of the photos that you see in National Geographic are Manny, and the way you can tell is from his tail. So I was told that his mother had bitten off the
I
end
don't
of
think
his
that's
tail
true.
when he was first born. And if you look in all of the pictures of anytime you see a picture of a jaguar, look at the tail. If it's not that really long and then curled up at the end,
Oh my
tail,
God.
if it's like cut a little bit short of the whole length of the tail, it's probably Manny. And that's how you can tell him from most other jaguars. I haven't seen any other jaguars or known of any other
She's just-
jaguars where the mothers did that.
I feel
Just
like she's
rambling about her jaguar.
Yeah, I feel like she's
But,
making this up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
something
Like maybe
unique about
National
him that you can
Geographic
tell
photographed
who he
him
is
once.
whenever you see pictures of him anywhere if his tail is in the picture. Stay cool, cats, and thank you again for being such big cat fans. Love that. Mwah.
Oh God.
Oh,
I mean, at least the message was sweet.
Yeah.
That ending face is boring into my soul right now.
Yeah, let me change this.
It looks
All
like
right.
she's going to try to suck your soul out through your eyes.
She looks like a deadite. Tis a deadite.
She looks like a Cenobite.
Oh, all right, be nice.
Oh.
All right. Who we got? What do we want to go? Who do we
Let's
want
look
next?
at Let's look at Jet Ski Guy. Let's see what his
jet ski guy.
is.
All right,
Yeah.
James Garretson on a jettison. All right, let's look at $50.
Actually, though, if
Jet
he-
Ski King from Netflix. Tiger King.
He better be on the jet ski or I want my money back.
Yeah, He better it doesn't look like he's showing up on a jet ski. It looks like he's just
No,
in
he
friggin-
doesn't. Oh no, there is one. He's on a jet
Right,
ski.
we gotta watch the jet ski one.
Okay. I hope they paid extra for that.
Oh my god, the wind is so loud.
Hey there, it's James Garretson, the Jet Ski King from that crazy show Tiger King. Want to wish Jason a happy 34th birthday, March 5th. Hope you have a good one, brother. I hear you're the man. And I heard you were a former young pussy hound.
Oh my God.
So nothing wrong with that, man. Get it while you can, but I hear you have a good woman now, so congratulations. Just watch those women, man. Did you know that bitch Carol Baskin? She got away with whacking her husband, so sleep with one eye open when it comes to women, man.
Oh my
But
God.
be safe, have a great birthday. If you're ever in South Florida and want to come jet ski, look us up and let's ride. But be safe, man. Don't drink too much, and more Tiger King to come. I think in the fall. So we got a lot more of this train wreck to air here pretty soon. So be safe, man, and have a wonderful day.
He actually looks kind of normal with a beard and normal hair. He doesn't look like a friggin' freaky person.
Yeah.
So
was
that's
so
interesting.
funny. That was funny that he just called out Carol Baskin.
Yeah. Well, and there you go. The
Very inappropriate.
Second season of Tiger King coming in fall. Apparently, there was also a documentary on Investigation Discovery that focused on Carol Baskin's husband.
Wow.
It was I forget what it was called, something like Tiger King or like Joe Exotic Murder Mystery, or I don't forget what it was. But I actually was interested in looking that up. I haven't seen it on anything yet, but I think that would be pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah. Was that done after or before this one?
It was done, I believe, after Tiger King came out,
Okay.
because they kind of played off the popularity of Tiger King.
Yeah.
Again, it was on Investigation Discovery, so it's not as high production value as Tiger King, I would imagine. Although, I mean, they have some pretty good shows on Investigation Discovery, but who knows?
Yeah. All right. Do we want to keep going down the cameo line, or do we want to do maybe one or two?
Let's just do one or two more.
All right. Actually, do we want to just get all the big cat people, or do we want to get Doc Annell's wife, or one of the other Tiger King trainers?
I would say let's do Doc Annell and let's do Jeff Lowe.
I'm curious about. I'm curious.
Morbidly
about Jeff
curious to see what Jeff is going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's get Tim Stark in there too, because
right.
he's a weird guy. All right. So we'll do
he
those.
was-
We'll do those three.
Yeah, the big three.
Yeah. All right. This is Tim Stark. What the hell is going on? I don't know. There's people walking up the street. They're yelling about something. I don't know.
Oh God.
I don't know.
It's gonna be a shootout in about 5 minutes right outside your apartment.
No, that doesn't happen here. But they're probably wasted somewhere. There's quite a few drunks at the midnight hour.
Yeah.
Just occasionally.
Well,
all right. Tim
The
Stark.
city never sleeps.
Yep. Tim Stark. $100. Direct message is $2.99.
Oh, and he doesn't have any samples.
He has nothing. He has no samples. All right. So he probably
Maybe
doesn't
no
know
one's
how to work
bought
this.
him.
He only has one review.
Yeah, so I guess maybe.
He maybe only did one.
Maybe.
And it was terrible.
Probably.
You can make 4 interest-free payments of $25 if you want.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Have an installment plan for a freaking cameo.
Oh my god, dude, he spelled Netflix wrong.
Wow. Netflix.
Flickx.
That's
CKS.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
He's gonna roast someone Tim Stark style.
What does that mean?
Well, we'll never know because we can't watch any of his samples.
Okay, all right. Well, Tim, he's out of the picture. All right.
He's dead to me.
He's dead to me. Jeff Lowe. All the money goes back towards the animals' care. No, we don't. We want to make sure they live long, healthy lives. Yeah, so you can
exploit them.
Yeah. All right, his wife's in these too.
Of course.
Yeah, all right.
Of course, they're partners in crime.
Yeah, what the hell is this? The Jungle Bus? Oh god, this is probably their other like gross sex thing.
Hey, Crooked Ben customers, it's Jeff and Lauren from the Tiger King Show on Netflix. You know, Crooked Ben provides unique food, plot seed for turkey, deer, and other wildlife. We're excited for planting season and always offer fast and free delivery at www.crooked-bend.com. Love your herd and plant Crooked Ben food plots. Thank you guys. We love you. Take care. Everybody be safe. Come and see us.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Of course, his is the shortest because he probably wants to squeeze as much money out of people without having to do actually any actual work. So.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Was that like an ad for his thing, or was that the person's?
I think that was the person's ad. I guess for the person's business.
Yeah. It's gonna air on like local television cable channels.
Cable access, Like when you used to, I don't know, you used to see like the friggin' like the commercials for Franklin Sussex Auto Mall, and it's like the lowest production value commercial for. They're like a local dealership by me, and they would have these cheesy commercials on TV and the radio, the local radio stations.
Oh, good God! It's the damn Quakin brothers. How bad? What would you do if you saw Jeff Lowe cameo for the Quakin brothers, just like flashing outside of their display?
I would just run, like drive to their store and yell at their building, "Damn you, Quakin brothers!"
I mean, they're the ones responsible for all this.
Doc Antle just looks like a creeper.
He looks like a maniac.
That first picture, the top left one, that's the creepiest one to me.
Yes.
He's
this
trying
one here?
to be the Rock and failing.
The one to the right, all the way to the right on that, is kind of weird looking, too. He looks like he's just staring into your soul.
Oh, yeah.
The one on the right, he looks like John McCain. The one on the left, he's trying to do a Rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
The middle one is odd, too. The middle one doesn't look like him at all.
He's all overexposed.
He's like glowing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Which one do we want to do?
Ugh.
Let's do the one that's on the top where he's trying to do the Rock eyebrow, the top left.
This one here?
Yeah.
It's, if you smell what Doc is cooking.
Oh, God. He better not say that.
Yeah, don't give him any ideas. He's going to listen to the podcast. That's going to be his new catchphrase.
Hey, Doc Antle here from the Myrtle Beach Safari and the crazy show, The Tiger King. Hey, Kate, I wanted to wish you a happy belated 37th birthday. Your cousin, Annie, she's sorry that she missed the date on you, but she wanted to make sure that we gave you a shout-out of happy birthday. Yes, I would also
good God.
Oh, my God.
I am Volley the Chimp. I'm a fabulous guy. I am very
That's
young at heart
horrifying.
because I'm still very young. I hear that you love a little bit of wine and some dangerous animals. I can be dangerous. Woohoo! Yes, I can, but I'm a lovely boy. Come meet me at the Myrtle Beach Safari. Have the adventure of a lifetime. Hope all's well. Happy birthday. Peace and love.
That was...
And it just ends on the monkey face.
What the hell did I just watch?
Oh.
You just watched a monkey.
What did he do to the poor monkey to like make it do that?
Maybe they put like peanut butter in his gums like they used to do to Mr. Ed to make him talk.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, they used to put peanut butter in Mr. Ed's like gum so that he would like be constantly like licking and like trying to like smack his lips to get the peanut butter, and that's how they like made it look like he was talking.
Oh.
Oh, I heard they attached a string to his upper lip, and they would raise it and lower it. And after the first season, he had realized what they were doing and started just moving his lips like that anytime a human was not talking.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Huh.
my dad was a huge Mr. Ed fan, so he was shouting off all these facts, and that's what it was.
I don't think I've ever seen an episode of Mr. Ed.
I don't think I have either.
There's one on YouTube. It was for World War II. It's that old of a show. So
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
a PSA. It's in the public domain if you ever want to check that out. But
Huh.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a watch along.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
should do Mr. Ed. That'll be a future episode of the podcast.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, we could just do like an episode of just classic TV shows that were just
Yeah.
bizarre.
you have all those, Mr. Ed, Gilligan's Island.
Oh, yeah.
Big
The
Fan,
Munsters.
The Munsters, yeah.
The
The
Addams
Addams
Family
Family.
goes right up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
We could do this, and I'd love to have you on the show again, Tom.
Oh, well, thank you. I'd love to be back.
All right, very good.
Yes. Well, that was Tiger King.
Yes, it was.
The craziest documentary to come out in 2020.
Mm-hmm.